So, where are we going? We are going here, the northwestern corner of Wyoming. That's where Yellowstone National Park and Grand Teton National Park are located, right at the intersection between Wyoming, Idaho, and the state of Montana. So, we'll be flying into Salt Lake City and driving up and entering Yellowstone from its western entrance, spending 6 days in Yellowstone, a couple days in Grand Teton National Park before returning to Salt Lake City and flying home. So, if you zoom in on this area of the world, what you find is that not only are these parks enormous, Yellowstone is enormous, Grand Teton is enormous, but the parks are surrounded by national forest as well. So you have this enormous area of the United States where you have essentially low population density and huge areas of uninterrupted habitat for megafauna like bison and wolves and bears and amazing species of plants and animals. It's just an amazing place. So I've been to a lot of national parks and national forests, and they are all amazing in their own way. And Yellowstone is my favorite national park, and it's kind of hard for me to put into words why it is so. It's really a confluence of many different things. It's this place where you have megafauna like bison and hydrothermal features like geysers and hot springs, and this amazing historical context and cultural context all coming together, and it just creates this otherworldly place. It's just an amazing place. And Grand Teton is amazing in its own right, with just incredible 14,000 foot high mountain peaks just coming out of the plains. It's just amazing. So Yellowstone is also amazing because it was the first national park in the United States and also the world. It became a national park in 1972, when Ulysses S. Grant was president. It is over 2 million acres. That's 3,500 square miles. It is the largest concentration of hydrothermal features in the world. Grand Teton National Park was established much later in 1929 and was expanded through contributions by rich guy J.D. Rockefeller. And it's a lot smaller than Yellowstone, but it's still enormous at 500 square miles. Another feature about Yellowstone is it's a high elevation plateau. The Yellowstone Plateau is completely surrounded by mountain ranges. You have the Absaroka Mountains, which sort of define the eastern side of the park. In the northwestern side of the park, you have the Gallatin Range Mountains, and then to the northeast of the park, you have the Beartooth Mountains. Further to the south, you have, can't see it here, but the Wind River Range extending out of the southeastern end of the park. And then directly south of the park is the Teton Range. So you have this high elevation, around 8,000 feet plateau with this enormous high elevation freshwater lake in the middle of Yellowstone, completely surrounded by these mountain ranges. And the Continental Divide goes, this is getting crazy. The Continental Divide goes through the park. So you have watersheds on one side of the park would ultimately empty into the Snake River, and then that goes toward the west, toward the Pacific Ocean. And then you have the Yellowstone River, which flows north out of the park and eventually makes its way to the Missouri River, and then the Mississippi River, and ultimately the Gulf of Mexico. So geographically, Yellowstone National Park is a really cool place. You have mountains, you have rivers, you have lakes, you have waterfalls, you have a canyon, you have valleys, you have forests, you have just unbelievable view sheds of natural splendor. It's amazing. You guys are in for a treat.